Hello, good afternoon. Happy June 1st. Uh, Hopefully, I can say happy. Hopefully, you can find some sort of happiness in all the craziness that's happening in the world. This is my Take Control live post that I do every day. And, uh, you know, it's very interesting when you make a decision that you want to change things and you make efforts by following different experts, mentors, gurus to change your life for the better. And basically, usually if you want to make a change, it means that there are some things in your life that need to change and you have to be willing to do that. And so I always start out this by talking about taking control of your life by waking up and having some sort of intention to accomplish something, whether that be minor or major. But essentially, a lot of what is advocated in The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod and Mel Robbins, the 5-second rule. That's why I broadcast to the Mel Robbins 5-second rule group. Just trying to reach out and step outside of my own comfort zone. This started many months ago, like August, almost. I'm going for a year, every day, consistent here, and it's not about me per se. And that's when you really realize that in order for you to become whole, you really have to connect with the universe, with everybody, and share. And so that's what I do when I come on here every day and talk about taking control and it starts out in the morning, and it starts out by understanding and acknowledging what you're grateful for, and listing out all the things you need to do, and maintaining a positive mindset. And it all starts with mindset, and from there you can pretty much accomplish anything that you set your mind to do. And so it's interesting, is that's just if things were normal, right? And so being that things have been pretty crazy abnormal in the past few months, and especially in the past few days, it's kind of, I always say, don't look at your phone and don't look at the news. And for the most part, I don't, because the news travels fast, especially when it's bad news or scary news. And of course, we've got the National Guard moving into town and a lot of our areas because of all the rioting, and it's pretty hard to ignore. A lot of anger and a lot of people that are unnecessarily losing their businesses, and there's just so much rage and fear out there. And I think, though, it comes down to this is a huge thing that we will all get through. At the same time, it's really extremely important that you maintain a level mindset and have compassion, and you understand why it's happening, but don't contribute to it further by invoking anger and making it worse. What's happened has happened, and we're hoping that it will not continue, and that this contrast of good and bad is really giving us perspective and letting us pointing out what things that we really need to focus on, and that is love and compassion and concern for other people. Especially, it's especially sensitive because a lot of us don't know what to say or do. And I think, though, if we could just find a place of common, period, of just common everything, whether that means staying neutral and just kind of waiting and seeing, but you need to lean toward the love and the compassion for other people. Because even so, we have social media, and again, I'm always talking about don't allow it to take over your thoughts, because that's really easy to do. People have this freedom to argue on social media, so you see a lot of these chit chats back and forth. Every time there's something on the news, where there's a feed, you see all these anger emojis and love emojis and us against them, and I'm sorry, but politicians using it for their own political gain, when it's really the people, it's all of us that need to come together and stay together in spite of and in light of all that's happening. And so, like I say, it's a really difficult time right now, and it's extremely important that we fall back on those things, just like taking control of your day every day, like I talk about. And it's just coincidental. It's probably good. Probably if I hadn't been doing this, I wouldn't be able to handle it as well. And I don't handle things well all the time. I don't. Things catch you by surprise, and And you don't realize the things that you say and you do and the actions that you put in, how much they affect other people indirectly, maybe now, maybe later. But I know one thing for certain is you can't fight fire with fire, and you cannot fight anger with anger. Eye for an eye just isn't something that works. You know, two wrongs will make a right, and sometimes when you're right, you're wrong, and all of those things apply. So I really don't like to see that. I don't like to be Pollyanna here, but it's absolutely proven fact. When it's the end of your life and you look back on your life, are you going to look back on all the things you were angry about? No. You're actually wanting to take an inventory of how much you loved and how much you were loved. And that really kind of says it all, really. And how much you enjoyed life. How fulfilling was that? If anyone has a purpose in this life, and it's that. And so it's just a really strange time. I don't know what to say. I think a lot of us are in that predicament. Sometimes I do these every day, and it was weird because I was listening to Hal Elrod's podcast earlier when I was on a little jog, and he was saying the same thing. Sometimes I don't know what I'm going to say, but then I'll get on here and I'll just do it anyway. And it just kind of flows. Let the spirit flow. And if you can do the same, I would suggest that. If it's not this, reaching out to somebody else by a telephone or video, or pretty much is sort of lightening up now anyway. You can go visit somebody if they haven't, if they've been quarantined for 14 days. Do your own judgment there. But a lot of things are getting a lot better, and you've got to focus on those things, and try to constantly find out what you can do to encourage somebody, and to just be there for them, and try to turn a conversation back away from the negative, because it's really, really easy, especially with a lot of the divide that has happened with people in this country over politics or whatever. There is a divide. Yeah. And I have found that with a lot of associates and colleagues that I know, there are differing opinions as far as right or left or whatever. We just don't go there, don't need to. It's personal, and opinions are just like a lot of things that are undesirable, right? Like the reasons we take showers, right? So there's that whole adage that goes that way. But so, yeah, I like to come on here. Actually, I really feel committed to come on here every day and share a little bit about taking control of your thoughts and being mindful. And it's interesting how from one day to the next, from 1 week to the next, 1 month to the next, how life changes, and how many things in life can really affect you, and how resilient we can be. When you look back and look at what you went through, it's like, wow, how did I get through that? If you can just be in this moment and be as positive as you can right now, it's going to shape the future. And don't focus on all of the negative, and don't make assumptions. Don't be pointing the finger and blaming people for things and just being flat out negative. What's that helping? It's not helping anybody. And so not really knowing what to do doesn't mean you don't have to do anything. You can still do positive, happy things. You can give somebody a smile, crack a joke. You can play some music. You can, draw, paint, do things that are absolutely creative and productive, and can be just filled with love. And like I said, don't mean to be Pollyanna. You can be cynical if you want, but don't be hateful. Don't be mean. We all saw what happens, what that's about. It was right there on television in front of us all. That was pretty evil, and hopefully there will be justice for that. And it's out of what can you control, right? Yeah, that's what it boils down to. The only thing you can control is this right here, is your love and compassion. And if you're on here right now looking at me, I'm supposing that I'm getting a little bit of that from you, and which I really appreciate, because I really love everybody that I come in contact with. And I know I posted I got it from somebody else. I posted a thing on my timeline. I said, hey, it was not like a dare to say I love you, and it was interesting. Like 30 or 40 people did. Most people think it's kind of corny or cheesy, but no, why? Just do it. Just do it. It wasn't a chain or anything like that. It's just that it was really interesting. Hey Talbot, hey Debbie, hey Jose, hi Cuz, Kathy, and I love you. I'm so happy that you're on here, and I hope you're doing well. And so yeah, a happy Monday, for what that's worth. I think a lot of people are at work or are going back to work. I know there's a lot of people not working, but I think that we have an opportunity here to recognize something really horrific that has happened. I don't want to say it could be worse, because it can't. Any human life that's taken in unjustly, and a realization that we are not all the same, we are not all treated the same, has to be realized, and that something needs to be done to change the way that we are, and the way that we live, and the way that we treat fellow human beings who are all the same, because it's not equal. I don't care what anybody says. It's not. It's called privilege, and I almost feel ashamed that I have privilege, but at the same time, it's something that we need to be aware of and acknowledge, and not deny. There's truly something to it, and it comes down to love and compassion and consideration and care for other people. And I'm gonna get off my high horse, but this is about sharing how to take control of your mind and your thoughts, and how to be compassionate and caring for other people. So if you haven't already done so, I know you do a lot for other people, Kathy. I know most people that I know are like that. Most people that I care to know anyway, they're very caring and loving people. So make it an amazing Monday evening, or if you're on the other side of the world, happy Tuesday, and make it a great week. Do something good for somebody else, but especially yourself. All right, take care.